Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Story Seeker podcast. Today I'm always recording from new and interesting places, I think. Today is from my mom's car because the battery in it died and we got it jump started, and now we needed someone to drive it around to recharge the battery. And I had already been thinking for a little while that it would be cool to record a podcast episode in the car. So I jumped at the opportunity, and here we are. This is currently take 3 because the first 2 times we had stuff falling off the camera rig and just bad things happening, so we didn't get very far. I'm hoping everything looks okay, sounds okay, isn't terribly shaky. Audio's alright. There's some tapping noises that you can probably hear, even though I'm on a pretty good microphone today, because they're pretty loud. It's the camera tapping against, I don't know, something on the windshield or dashboard. It's annoying to me, hopefully not terribly annoying to you. But yeah, I honestly don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about in this episode. I have a couple of ideas. Let's get into them. So, really the only things that I've thought about talking about here are related to college, dropping out. Last episode was, feels like my most pivotal, most crucial, most important, maybe consequential episode that I've made so far. And just talking about how my feelings about school and thinking about dropping out after this year, my freshman year. And that episode was met with varied feedback from those close to me. Everything from "you're wrong, stay in school" to "I respect your opinion, and if that's what you want to do, great." And yeah, I will say it can be a bit difficult to drive and think at the same time. Also, just because I wow, could not talk for a second there. Just had a little malfunction. Especially because I don't have any destination where I'm going to. I'm just driving around aimlessly. I'm currently pulling into the parking lot, checking out the shot here. It looks alright, although it seems to have tilted down a bit since we first started. Cutting my head off. Try to slouch down a little bit in my seat. This is the parking lot that I first drove in ever. It's pretty cool to drive around it again. I don't think I really have driven around it much at all since then. Even though it's quite close to my house, I don't really have a reason to come here. So, one thing that I realized from talking with people is that I don't necessarily have to drop out completely, or I won't drop out completely if I decide that I don't think school is for me. I'm not throwing away everything that I've done so far. In fact, I'll still have my credits that I've built up here and in high school, and I can probably go on leave for a year, and if I want to come back at the end of the year, I should be able to do that. So that's something cool that I didn't really consider. It was kind of just like, if I leave, I'm gone, I'm not coming back, and I don't expect to want to come back. I wouldn't expect to want to come back if I did drop out, but it's a pretty nice shot, besides the fact that my head is kind of cut off. I don't really know if there's anything much I can do about that at this point. That is going to actually be a relatively permanent fix. Maybe that will do something. So, yeah, this is really all over the place, this episode. This is more difficult than I thought it would be. But I'm not throwing everything away if I did drop out. I can go on leave for a year, and if I really want to come back and finish my degree, most likely I'll be able to do that. So that's great. And besides that, plans for next semester is what I've been thinking about. Today is January 2nd. New Year's, I suppose I can talk about some New Year's resolutions and things like that. I'll get to that later, hopefully. Although, last 2 episodes I've said multiple times. I said in each episode there was something where I was like, I hope I'll come back to this later. I want to come back to this later, and didn't end up coming back to it. So hopefully I'll actually come back to this one. New Year's resolutions. But what was I talking about in the first place now? I don't remember. Plans for next semester, yes. So next semester, I was thinking about things, and I don't know. I guess I'm kind of conflicted on what to do. I really don't know what to do. What plan of action to take. I have some ideas, but midway through, I'll give some background. Midway through first semester, I really was not feeling like I was getting much out of my film classes, especially like the sort of fundamental film classes. And so next semester I'm going to take basically I'm supposed to take in the film major continuations of those classes, like part 2 of those classes. Our angle looks pretty good still. And yeah, so that's in the plan for all film students. And I assumed I would have to take those classes. And I do have to take them to actually graduate and get through the major. However, I don't have to take those classes next semester. I have to take only 2 film classes for a total of 7 credits next semester in order to stay in the major. Now, I'm sure I'll probably be the only person doing only those 2 classes, because it'll set me back. If I end up wanting to finish the degree, I'm going to have to take those classes later, and it's going to be probably taking those classes with a bunch of freshmen, and just no one really wants to push those off. But because I'm not sure whether I'm going to finish the program, I figure, okay, like, let me make this experience the best that it can be, try to make it the best that it can be, explore other options. I wanted to take some other types of classes, because I took an English class that I just had to take, and I really loved my teacher, and feel like I got something out of that class, and I wish I dedicated more time and energy to it. I wish I dedicated more time and energy to pretty much all my classes first semester. Not that I slacked off on them at all, but I don't know. I mean, it's different when you're taking classes and just trying to pass them, just trying to get good grades, versus actually trying to get something out of them beyond just a grade. Grades really, I mean, I like to get good grades, and I did pretty well first semester, but like, there's very minimal reason, like logical reasons for me that I need to get good grades. It's more about just like getting things out of the classes that I'm taking, and I want to maximize that as much as possible, because I'm paying for this, I'm spending time doing this. Like, I've talked about this before on the podcast, I'm sure, but I just hate half-assing things. I hate going halfway. And so, like, if I'm going to be doing college, may as well just fully do it. If I'm going to be at film school, may as well fully do it, put all of my time and energy into it. Not all, but, a lot of it. And that's been difficult first semester, because that was sort of my plan, and then I decided that I didn't totally love my classes all that much, and lost some of that motivation, and so it was hard to say no to more exciting projects, personal projects, freelance projects, and just being with friends and things like that, which was much more exciting to me than doing, extra work for my film classes that I didn't really like and didn't feel like I was getting much out of a lot of the time. I don't fault myself for making that decision, but I hope to next semester dive into those deeper, even though I'm only taking 2 of those classes. I could take the other ones still, I assume, but I don't think I'll be doing that. I don't know. As first semester continued, I started to appreciate my film classes more, and so that's where now I'm like, maybe I should keep those classes in. But I'm also at the same time like I said, with my English class, I found something that I enjoyed and felt like this could be really cool if I had more time, was able to dedicate more time to it and really maximize it and see it for what it is. And my teacher was just great, just didn't really put so much stress and pressure on us, and I never felt like that, that really common feeling of being in school and feeling like you're behind, and even if you're not really, or I don't know, for me plenty of the time it is true that I am behind, but whatever. So had a good experience in English, and then that made me think, like, okay, maybe there are other classes that I would like too that I don't necessarily realize, because I didn't think I was going to like English going into it. I heard, some of my first days at school, I heard, wow, that's really hard to see. I heard some of my first days in school, this class is really hard. I need to put this down. This class is really hard. And it ended, I wrote a lot of words for it. I wrote a lot of essays. I wrote a lot of things. It's not easy. The texts that we read are not easy. I think my teacher probably made it an easier class than it could have been, but also just the way that she presented everything and taught everything, and it was really appreciated. Just how relaxed she is, and anyways, I could go on and on about her. You probably don't really care that much about my English teacher, but again, what it made me realize is maybe there are other classes or other subjects. It reminded me that I just love learning in general, in the right conditions. And I think that this teacher gave me the right conditions. And I didn't necessarily take full advantage of that, but I got something out of it for sure. And made me realize, okay, like if there are other teachers like this, if there are other classes structured in ways that, I don't know, just encourage my genuine curiosity, that I might like them, even if they're in things that, history, for example, is like, I am interested in history. I've always thought it's been cool, but plenty of my history classes I found, I guess most of them I found relatively interesting, but haven't put, whatever, I don't know, just the idea that, like, there is, I don't know, oh wow, I just turned into this road and it's really weird. It's like a cul-de-sac, but for 2 houses, really large houses. Huh. Very interesting. Okay, all right, I guess I'm not gonna stay here. So whatever, it encouraged me to explore other disciplines again, reminded me that I really love learning, and again, in the right conditions. I repeat myself so many times on this podcast. So yeah, I'm currently penciled in. This is just like really cool streets, really nice houses, really nice area. It encouraged me. Did not encourage me. I'm penciled in for a intro to philosophy class, as well as some kind of religion, God sort of class. religious studies, and I'm excited about both of those. One of my friends took philosophy and really liked it, and I could see it being really interesting and really feeding a lot of the creative work that I do. Um, and lots of people walking around here. This is such a nice area. I've never driven here, but it's cool, and this is a nice little side effect of just driving around aimlessly. Um, so I get sidetracked so easily and lose my train of thought so easily. Oh wow, we're a bit tilted at this point. I'm not even gonna really be able to correct that in post because, well, I suppose I could, but I'm gonna try to. Oh no, I'm out of focus. Oh, fuck. All right, I think that's fine. Okay, so back to driving now and talking. We're going back to the same position we were in before. It is what it is. Nothing I can do at this point. So, I'm excited for those classes. I think they'll be cool. I think they'll be interesting. I think they'll be food for thought. I want to take stuff in environmental science. I don't really have room for it in my schedule. I want to take, like I said, more history related things. Like there are lots of things I'm interested in that I want to learn more about. Um, so yeah, like I'm excited to potentially do some of that next semester. And in many ways, it feels like, in comparison to film classes, that I may get a lot more out of these diverse subjects. I'm not sure I really believe that, but I actually, like, when I was looking around for colleges, I looked mostly at schools that had something called an open curriculum, which basically means that they're more flexible in terms of what classes you have to take. Most schools have general core requirements of you have to take a class in social sciences and natural sciences and these things. And these, like, you have to take certain classes. You have to take a bio, you have to take a calculus, you have to take this and that. And schools with open curriculums generally allow for a lot more freedom to explore. And yeah, so usually, like, you won't have to declare a major until, or you won't even be able to declare a major often until middle or end of your sophomore year. And you really spend that time exploring and um, yeah, and often, like, majors are not as intense in terms of how many credits and classes you have to take um, in order to fulfill them. So you're able to take a bunch of other classes and areas you're interested in as well, and you actually have to often. Uh, like my top school for a long time was the University of Rochester in Rochester, New York, and they had, you had to have a major, and which was really, like, I think maybe a third, like a quarter to a third of total credits, total classes. Um, so not super heavy on the major. And then you'd have to take a minor. Um, and that was maybe half or a third of what the major was. And then you'd have to take, like, a cluster, which is basically like a minor, but even less. It would be like wow, these houses are crazy. Like just three classes or something in a certain area, and there were like a million clusters that you could take it in. Like, wow, these streets just don't go anywhere. They're all just like cul-de-sacs that make me turn around. So yeah, the clusters would be like, I don't know, there'd be like thinking of things that are too general. I feel like there were, like, I don't know, like environmental media or something like that. It was like, oh, that's so cool. I could study environmental media. Like, I don't know. Maybe that was just one class, but I'm gonna go this. So yeah, I just had a lot more space to explore. Like even if I majored in film, I would be able to take 2/3 of my classes in things completely unrelated to film, and that really excited me. And I really wanted to explore, especially because I felt like, my degree is not going to help me earn a lot more money, considering what I think I'm going to do right now. And so, like, I don't know, may as well just like explore different things. And something that one of my friends commented, Aaron, I've mentioned him in at least one episode at this point. He said in the comments of last episode that he keeps reminding himself that he's had some of the same feelings about school that I have, and he keeps reminding himself that filmmakers need things to make films about, and our camera angle is pretty off again. There's nothing we can do at this point. The footage looks pretty cool, I think. I get so off track so easily. So, yeah, this is like, I've heard people talk about ADHD and like describe their symptoms, I guess, and just like how their brain works. People have ADHD, and like I relate very heavily, and you can probably see that if you listen to my podcasts. Where was I? So at Rutgers, it's not like that at all. Rutgers is one of the only schools I applied to that doesn't have a particularly open curriculum. They have core requirements, which aren't terrible, to be honest. Like, I'll get through them. I think either philosophy or the religion class I'm taking fulfills some sort of requirement. There's a lot of things that can fulfill each requirement, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so that part is fine. The part that I don't like is the fact that the film major, all of the arts majors, are incredibly, incredibly credit intense. For perspective, in order to graduate with a bachelor's degree, you need 120 credits in total. That's everything. That's your major, that's any other classes you take if you have a minor, that's everything. That's all your core classes. It's literally everything. Oh my god, another damn cul-de-sac. Wow. That is everything. 120 credits. The film major is 122 credits alone. So, and then there's core requirements I have to do on top of that, and that's not including anything extra. And I'm in the honors college, which gives me more classes that I have to take. Not to complain about being in the honors college, and I want to sound like a stuck-up bitch. But, I chose to be in the honors college. That adds extra classes that I have to take. So I have to take a lot of credits. I have, every semester I kind of have to push myself. And there really just isn't that much space for exploration outside of the major. And if there is, it's at the expense of, the eating into the relatively limited free time that I would have. Just only taking the film classes and honors college classes that I have to take and the core classes that I have to take. It's just really hard. Logistically with schedules, and it wouldn't be that way at a lot of other schools. Which maybe says, maybe transferring is an option. I don't think I'll be doing that. I can talk about why at some point. That's another little asterisk to maybe come back to. I probably won't remember or won't want to, but I don't know how long this podcast has been going on for. I thought I wouldn't have anything to say, but I have a lot to say. It's just not coming out so cleanly exactly, but yeah, so as I was saying, film major, so many credits. I can't explore as much as I want to. My plans for next semester. Where was all of this going? My mind is so jumbled up, and especially it gets even harder. Like, this is how my mind works to an extent, but also it's just even harder when I'm talking to a camera, because I don't know, it just adds some pressure, and it adds an extra little filter of like, can I say this? Everything I say is like a little bit like, is this okay? You know, I'm releasing this to the public. Like, am I allowed to do this? Who am I talking to right now? Whereas when I'm even just talking to a single person, like, it's a lot more obvious. Like, okay, I'm talking to my mom. You know, there are certain things that maybe I'm hesitant to say to my mom, and certain things I'm not hesitant to say to my mom. But it's very easy to look at her and talk to her with all of those considerations in mind. That's just how we talk to people on a daily basis. And with this, it's weird because I'm trying to be really personal, but also, like, not, it's impossible not to think about who's going to watch this. And I've never driven down the street before. I'm going to drive down the street. It's impossible not to think about, who's going to watch this and what are they going to think about it a little bit, and filter myself a little bit through that. But it's confusing again because I don't know who's going to watch it, and I don't know who's listening. It's a nice road. It's very wide and flat, and relatively smooth. See if I can fix this camera a little bit again. Not terrible. Okay. So, yeah. And then I'm driving as well this time, which makes it even more difficult, I think. So, dude, every street is a dead end. My goodness. So, I'm trying to figure out what to do next semester. And again, I don't like going half measures on things. And so, I don't know. I've wanted the opportunity to do more creative work in my first semester. I've wished that I had the chance to do more creative work. And part of me this semester, what I was planning on doing pretty much was, like, taking fewer credits. So that way I have more time for creative work and, like, that's one possibility, is, like, take less credits, have more time for the creative work that I want to be doing, to sort of compromise and, like, see if college can be if I can find a good balance with being in school and doing other things that I want to be doing outside of school. Possibility number one. Possibility number two is just, like, pursue school to the fullest and put my creative work on hold. And it's probably going to hurt a little bit. It hurt first semester to not have that creative outlet and that time to express myself, whatever. And yet, like, I survived, and I'll survive another semester of doing it. And maybe there's a way that I can find a simple, easy way to express myself, and maybe that's something similar to what my friend Aaron is doing with his This Week in Stumbling Through College videos, like, just having some outlet that is consistent. And then otherwise, like, being as fully, just dive into school as much as possible. Like, try to meet as many people as possible. Try to, I went to some first meetings for clubs and decided that I wasn't really interested. And I don't know, like, I wasn't really that interested in the substance of the clubs, but the people there, I'm sure I could have gotten to know and would have liked, and found people that I like. So it's like, I don't know, it's like I went to the first meeting for a short film production club, and it disappointed me because it was like, and I could have expected this, but, like, it disappointed me because it felt like an even less serious version. Rutgers Road. The street is called Rutgers Road, and it's also a dead end, but I'm driving on it because it's called Rutgers Road, and there are deer here, and I don't need to scare them off, but like, I don't even, wow, interesting. That sun looks nice behind me. So, and then Cornell Drive. It's like all different college streets here. So, um, fuck me, man. What was I just talking about? Something good. Diving into school. Yeah, and like, I have an urge to like, I have, I played baseball for a long time since I was very little, up through middle school and then into high school, and here's Harvard Place, had shoulder and elbow injuries that just nagged me for several years and could never fully get rid of them, and eventually stopped playing and found myself on the sidelines with a camera rather than on the pitching rubber. But there's still an athlete inside of me, and I'm not trying to play baseball. But I think it could be cool to... This is a dead end as well. I think... Wow. This is interesting. I think it could be cool to do some kind of athletic pursuit, and I think ultimate frisbee could be really interesting. It's something that I really enjoy playing. Sorry, sometimes I don't talk with the microphone up to my mouth and I don't really realize. But yeah, ultimate frisbee, I love playing ultimate, and I think I'm like pretty good at it. Rutgers has a D1 ultimate frisbee team, so like maybe I try to play on that. Like maybe I like dedicate a lot of my time to playing frisbee. Like that would be fun, and it would, it would help with my fitness and things like that, and just like help with meeting people and a different group of people. Most of the friends that I have are either in the honors college or in the film program, and I love them and they're great. I have amazing friends here, but like, and I like, I'm always happy to meet new people and people from totally different things, not just people who are very obviously similar to me. Not that people in the honors college and film program really are. We have one thing in common, but there's Tulane Road. So this is a nice street as well. Very, very smooth. Oh man. We're out of focus again. Let's change for a second. Put myself back in focus. There we go. So, yeah, like that is exciting to me. The idea of competing and being involved in something like that, like, I mean, being a D1 athlete would be kind of crazy. And I'm sure it'd be a big commitment, and I'm scared of that because it means relinquishing a lot of creative work, time for that and time for other things too, and being with my friends. And I'm not sold on trying to pursue this, but like, I don't know, it's exciting to me. The idea of diving into something like that. Just going all in with it, I hate half doing things, half in one place, half in the other place. And that's, I think, why it's one of the reasons why I want to drop out, is because I hate being half here, half there. I hate, like, I don't know. My brain doesn't really work like that, I don't think. Like, I really think that I am wow, crazy voice crack. I think I'm most fulfilled, feel the best when I'm really strongly pursuing one thing. And I'm really dedicated to that one thing mostly. Not that I can't have other things in my life, but I don't know. I just, like, at the end of the day, for me, it just feels like, would I rather do something... Oh, see where I am now. Interesting. I don't know how I ended up here, but by my temple. So, I'm Jewish, if you didn't know, by the way. So, whatever it may be, whatever the reason, I, oh, that's a big bump. Ugh. Whatever the reason, I think I prefer mainly pursuing one thing at a time. And I don't know, whatever. I'll dig into it a little bit. It's not just that. It's not just that I prefer one thing at a time. I think it's also just like I prefer doing things that I want to do more than things I want to do less. And I prefer having a real goal. I prefer having a real, like, I prefer just like feeling like I have a purpose with what I'm doing. And in college, I don't know, like, I don't see that as much anyways. Back to what I was talking about before, which was what? More bumps. Just this angle one more time. Now we're out of focus again. Alright, so yeah, man. Forget everything. Oh my goodness. What was I on about? I guess let's just go back to like diving in fully. I'm excited by that possibility. I feel like if I'm gonna be here, and especially like, I'm not, if I am dropping out, if I am leaving, it'll be after my freshman year. It's not like I'm going back to school for a second semester. And so, like, I don't know, I feel like it makes more sense to optimize for making the most out of school than it does to optimize for, like, being the happiest, even, maybe, like, being the most fulfilled. Not that I don't, those definitely can intersect. I'm not sure that they do, but they definitely can. I guess just, like, it feels like, again, to just, I always go back to minimizing regret with my decisions. This is one of my last opportunities probably to play a sport at a really competitive level. If I would be able to make the team and pursue that. The opportunities that college has, even though I think that I want to leave, like, they're really valuable and really unique and don't exist elsewhere, a lot of them. And I appreciate that. I understand that. And so I want to maximize them as much as possible. And especially if I feel like, after this semester, okay, it's going to be the summer. I'm going to have a lot of time to work on my career, to get back into creative mode, to just, like, come out swinging, like, spend all day, every day working on, like, the things I really want to be working on. And I'll have stories to tell from this year of being in school and just all of the changes I've gone through and so many things happening. It feels like a really pivotal time in my life, transformative time, for sure. Like, it's not saying no to it. It's not saying no to to the artist inside of me. It's not like it. I mean, it is in a way, but, like, it's really, it's putting it on pause. And I think I should, like, have a daily, weekly, monthly practice of some kind. And this podcast, I think, is actually maybe it. If it's just I record a podcast every week talking about how I'm feeling. I truly, like, honestly, until I say it now, like, this is a really big way that I get my thoughts out and express myself and even communicate with the people around me. It's become something that, my family watches, and something that some of my friends watch, and just like, I don't know. I mean, I it's important to me. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And just, really, like, thinking about it now, I don't really always appreciate how much it actually does for me. There are certain things that I do and just feel like this is life. Like, this is life. This is when I'm most fully conscious. This is when I'm most fully intentional. This is when I feel the most alive. And doing things like this is one of those. I'm back at my house now, but I'm going to drive around the block a couple times to wrap this episode up. I think this is probably my longest episode, if not at this point, by the time I'm fully done with it. And messy, but something important. I think it was good. I'm happy that I recorded this. I wasn't sure about doing it because I felt like I didn't have that much to say, and I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, and all those doubts. But I did it, and I'm happy. I keep getting the comment of, like, I'm holding back. I'm not letting everything out. I'm being too abstract with the things I say in my podcast and the art that I make, and even the writing that I did in English class. Like, I'm not diving deep enough. And it's really interesting. I talked about it, I think, in like episode 5 or 6 or something, and I don't know, it confuses me a little bit. I don't know if it has something to do with like being in school and getting away from expressing myself so much and getting out of those habits, or it's just the filter that I was sort of talking about before, or just my inability to fully to articulate myself as well as I can, or as well as possible. I think all those things are probably part of it, but there's definitely more to dig into with what I talked about today. I want to sort of wrap up the idea of diving in. Again, it is about minimizing regret. It's about exploring the opportunities available to me. Yeah, so like putting on pause, not putting on pause, but like making sure that I have my creative outlet. Keep recording that podcast episode every week or so. Like, I'm not suppressing that, but like that feels like one of the most time efficient ways to express myself. It's just me rambling. There's not really crazy production for the most part. There's not crazy editing time. It's mainly just me setting up a camera, rambling for however long I can, and then super quick edit and upload. And so I want to keep doing this. I want to do this every week-ish. No crazy pressure, but something like that. And then, for the most part, I think let go of like most everything else creatively. It's going to be hard. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, honestly. Like, it's really hard to say no to opportunities that I really want to do and that I want to do more than other things. Which is why I was kind of half in, half out first semester, because it's really hard to say no to things I want to do more and spend time doing things I want to do less. It's hard to... One more cul-de-sac just for old time's sake. It's hard. I'm sure there will be opportunities next semester that I'm gonna look at and be like, man, I really want to do this. This would be good for my career. This would be a lot of fun. This is the type of work that I want to be doing. And I'm not saying I'm not going to say yes to any of that, because I don't know how I wouldn't. But I think I want to limit it, as heavily as I possibly can, to really just like the most exciting jobs and projects that are outside of school. Just try to get the most out of school that I can while I'm here. It feels like it would be doing a disservice to myself by going for the compromise, let's see how much creative work I can do while also being in school. Like, I don't know. I think it really is, just because I currently plan on dropping out after my first year. And especially with the summer, and my summer is almost 4 months long, even if I am to go back to school in the next fall, like, I will have time. I will probably have opportunities still. It's always scary that they're going to go away, and they do go away sometimes. And then they tend to come back in different forms, shapes, and sizes. But I don't know. I think to an extent, I have to let go of I don't know, the idea that I have to let go of something. I don't know what it is. I have to let go of something. Embrace what is in front of me. Make the most out of it. Jump into the deep end. Push myself to try things, which I did in first semester, but even more. And then I guess it's like, at that point, if I decide that I want to stay, then I try to figure out, okay, what is most important to me about school, and what is most important to me about my work outside of school, and really just trying to find a balance between those things, and then compromising, because then I don't think I'm going to decide that I want to do less creative work. I did some creative work this first semester, and want to do more. And again, that's why I was going to take less classes. Why I probably will take less classes, but now for different reasons, I think. Now because of the other things I want to do at school-related things. Pulling into my driveway now, and there's my mom with my dog going for a walk. I'm gonna wrap this up while parked in the driveway. So, it's been a ride. It has been a ride. If you're still listening at this point, I have a great deal of admiration for you, for many reasons. Oh, God. Not the most amazing lighting. So, I feel like there's more. I want to maximize the time that I have. I want to make sure that college is not what I want. Not that it's not what I want, but that I want to be on my own more than I want to be in college. Because college is fine. It's good. I'm not very unhappy. I'm unhappy sometimes. I'd be unhappy sometimes no matter what. It's not bad. It's good. There are great things about it. I accept that. And currently, I think that I want to do my own thing more. That I want to be in college. Not because college is bad. I think I want to do my own thing more. That's all I think. I want next semester to be about making sure, like pushing the boundaries, trying to like play devil's advocate with myself and ensure that like I can't like try to make I don't know. I feel like you get what I'm saying at this point. Try to have the best experience that I can. Try to get stuck into college. Try to want to stay. Like try to make myself want to stay. Because of all of the amazing things that I find and pursue here. And if I go all into it and it doesn't work, I have fun and I do good things and I still decide that I want to be on my own, so be it. I'll be happy with that. That's what I hope happens, honestly. That is what I hope happens. Which is kind of weird. But still. Because I want, like, I'm scared of, like, I am scared of dropping out of school because I'm still scared of, I don't know, I guess it's FOMO. Like, just, I'm scared of the things I'm going to miss out on. I'm scared of it's FOMO is like, it is FOMO, but it's not the way we normally think of it. Like, it's the scared of missing out on what could have been, I think. And like, even if this isn't better, there are just opportunities that I have in college that I probably won't have the rest of my life. And I want to explore those as much as possible. And, I talked about the reason why I decided to go to school, because I thought I was more likely to regret not going to school than going to school. And at this point, I'm trying to make sure that, I went to school, and now I think I'm going to leave. And I want to make sure that I don't still have a bunch of regrets, don't still wonder so much. What would college have been like had I truly thrown myself into it 100%? Had I given up on the other things I was trying to do and just said, like, fuck it, I'm focusing on school. I'm, like, all into school. Because that's the only way that I'll be able to tell if it's, to truly decide if it's for me. There's no hedging my bets. Like, next semester I want to just, I've already said it a million times. Please leave me a comment with your thoughts or send me a text message if you would like to do that. But I really appreciate comments because, the public part, it doesn't necessarily need to be public, but more about just like increasing engagement on my podcast. But if you would like to text me, please text me as well. Or not as well, just text me instead if you are so close to me that you possess my phone number. Let me know what you thought. I think this might have been my most, I don't know, my new most consequential. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting somewhere. with the podcast. I feel like they're telling a story of me, my progression, and who I'm becoming and what I'm what I'm doing, and I think that's really cool. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to keep going. Back to the New Year's resolutions. I said I was going to do it before. I just remembered. I was also talking about transfer, which I'm not getting into that. Sorry, past Ben. New Year's resolutions. Make, I don't know, 40 podcast episodes this year. I have a financial goal for myself for this year, but it's hard because and I'm going to be in school, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to be in school, whether I'll be in school in the fall, and it really depends so much on that. And especially if I'm not planning on doing much freelance work second semester. Again, it's just like, okay, I made the goal, but like now I'm not even going to pursue it because I'm going to just be really focused on school. So like, yeah, I think, goals are 40 podcast episodes and make the most of second semester, make the most of school while I'm here. All right, I'm done. Thank you for listening.